If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So, what principle are you standing on? What rules are you standing on? What gives you your foundation and your moral compass? Can you recall the reason why you adopted this rule or principle? What happened? What happened in life that determined this here? What happened to make you adopt the rule that you adopted if it wasn't the golden rule? Okay. Number 6, do you remember when you were first introduced to this rule or principle that you follow consistently? Were you taught this rule or principle as a child and continue to follow it because you were raised to follow it? Huh. Now, that's going to get you to thinking about a whole lot of things. Get you to think about a whole lot of things. Some of us simply were not taught right when we were children. Some of us were. Think about that. Do you still hold true to this principle or this rule simply because that was how you were raised? Or has it become something that you have adopted as your own belief system and that you follow because you believe it, not because it just became muscle memory? Number 7, if you were not taught this rule or principle as a child, did you consciously follow this rule or principle through your own revelation or by way of education as an adult? Yes or no? Elaborate on why you decided to follow this rule or principle as a guiding principle in your life. Think about it. Did you consciously follow this rule through your own revelation or by way of education as an adult? Okay. Now, the final parts of this chapter reads this way. Once again, think and reflect upon your life and any experiences that come to mind before answering the reflective questions. So now, let's dig a little deeper into the issue of respect. Okay? Have you ever given thought to the fact that what you may have perceived as disrespect may not necessarily be considered disrespect from the other person's perspective? Wow. Now that's some food for thought now. And I'm loving the words that she used. Using this word perceived, using the word perceived. Hold on, let's look it up in a dictionary, right? Because this is also the good thing about this Kindle is that you can look stuff up in a dictionary. But she used this word perceived, I believe, for the reason of letting you know that sometimes what we perceive is not reality. And this is not no gaslighting type of situation. This is critical thinking. This is self awareness of being able to analyze the situation and determine if in fact we were disrespected, or is it something that we may have just been like feeling like we were disrespected. Okay? Become aware or conscious of something to come to realize or understand. Number 2 definition, become aware of something by the use of one of the senses, especially that of sight. Number 3 is to interpret or look on something, or let me see. Oh, goodness. It just took me all the way out the book, didn't it? The point here being, let me go back. Oh, the point here being that sometimes what we perceive is based on our feelings, based on our worldview, based on our experiences. But can we be open to the possibility that what we perceived as disrespect may not be may not necessarily be considered disrespect from the other person's perspective. Some of us simply view someone telling us the truth as disrespect. Okay? Think about that. Let's discuss an example with less catastrophic consequences than the example above, but will also help us understand discernment and spirituality much better. Oh, yes, y'all. Let's get into another life situation. And then we're going to end. Hold on. Let me see how much longer is this chapter. Oh, child. I'm already over an hour. I'm sorry, you guys. Stick with me though, because this is some good stuff here. Okay. Life situation number 2. After you, my dear. As someone from Generation X, I am realizing more and more that a number of young millennials do not necessarily open doors for me with the same consistency as adults from my generation and the generation before mine open doors for me. By no means am I saying that all millennials do not open doors, but I have noticed that a number of millennials I come across do not. Now, as a woman of a certain age, I freely admit that there is a part of me that expects a man to open the door for me because that is what I've been used to all my life. Needless to say, I am a creature of habit, as we all are. And having a door open for me is one of those habits I've grown accustomed to. I am entering my 5th decade on this earth, and I can literally count on one hand how many times a man from my generation has neither opened a door for me or allowed me to enter or exit an elevator first, because rarely does that happen. Okay. Nonetheless, in the off chance that a man does not open the door for me or wait until I enter or exit an elevator, regardless of his age, color, it, color or any other characteristics, I do not get upset with him over it. Why? For me, the reason is very simple. I start with a cold, hard fact that no one is obligated to open the door for me. That's a fact. Now, of course, I can interject into the story that opening a door for someone is the polite and courteous thing to do. I may also believe that opening a door for someone is an indication of one's upbringing. But understand that such information is subjective and distracting only. The reality is that no one is obligated to open the door for me. Therefore, if a man does not open the door for me, he is not obligated to do. Excuse me, and he is not obligated to do. Why would his failure to open the door immediately translates into him being disrespectful towards me, or worse, mean that he cannot stand women, or that he somehow has an issue with me personally? Why does it have to be seen as a negative because someone failed to open the door for me? Maybe the person was preoccupied at the moment. Maybe the person was not taught to do that. Or maybe the person tried to open the door for a woman one time and was met with a response that he didn't have to open the door. I have no idea why he didn't open the door for me, and it's not my job to condemn him because he did. Focusing on what this man failed to do only preoccupies my mind with negative thoughts. In other words, it serves no purpose, and therefore I refuse to allow such thoughts to breathe or take up residence in my head. Okay? Someone failing to open the door for me is not automatically synonymous with someone disrespecting me. Huh. How many times? How many times, y'all, have y'all heard that from a woman? He didn't even open the door for me. Does that automatically mean disrespect? To does it to you? Does it to you? What I do know is that if I later saw the same man directly behind me as I began walking through a door, I would still open the door for him because I will not dispense with my commitment to following the golden rule just because he may not be following the same rule. So, if I go through a door and a man doesn't open the door for me, does that mean that when I'm going through the door later on that day, that I won't just hold the door for him when I see him behind me? Think about it. I do this because me following this rule actually frees my mind because it ensures that I don't focus on irrelevant information. Instead, it allows me to be in control of my emotions and actions and not allow myself to be preoccupied by someone else's actions. I am insistent upon not allowing anyone to stop me from upholding my principles just because they did something that I may have misinterpreted. How many times, y'all, have we misinterpreted another person's actions and we responded in a negative or nasty way because we misinterpreted? Think about that. Or to take a step further, why should I alter my course just because someone doesn't believe the same things I believe? Huh? Why? For all I know, this man may very well uphold the golden rule and just had a bad day. Maybe he was in a rush. Maybe he was preoccupied. He was thinking about something else. Or maybe he just don't hold the door. What does that have to do with me? What does that have to do with my standard? I'm not going to just allow the door to close on a person when I see that behind me. I'll just hold it. And then it could very well change the trajectory of another person's day if he was having a bad day and was nasty to me in the beginning. Let's say he was nasty. I ain't holding the door for her. But then later that day, I held the door. Then how does that change the trajectory of his day? What if he was having a bad day? I held the door, and that is what changed the trajectory. That softened a person's heart. Because they're like, wow, I was nasty at the beginning of the day. But this person still chose to uphold their rule, their standard, their principles, their character, their morals, regardless of my behavior. Now, how many times has that happened? Have we been nasty to someone and they were still kind to us? And then we had that revelation that, man, that person's still kind to me. And I was so nasty. And that changes your heart. Here's the thing, we all make choices in life. We can choose to allow the other person's actions to create negative thoughts in our head that distract us from being who we are, and therefore change our focus from some insignificant matters that that change our focus to some insignificant matters that do not serve any positive function in our existence except to judge, condemn, and form prejudice against one another. Or we can stay the course and not be shaken by circumstances we happen to encounter. Let's go back to the example that I was using of the waitress. This waitress thinks all Black people are bad tippers. That's why she was nasty to me, because I'm Black, just like the other Black people who wouldn't tip her properly. Didn't leave a tip at all. But do I have to? Do I have to? So, do you have to change your focus, right, to some insignificant matters that do not serve any positive function in our existence except to judge, condemn, or form prejudice against one another? Or can we stay the course and not be shaken by the circumstances we happen to encounter? Let's say she didn't treat me differently, but she had this bias. And I was the one who changed her mind because I tipped her properly. Then she realized all black people aren't bad tippers. Okay, because we have all heard that. Don't act like we ain't heard that. Okay. Okay. Listen, how dare we allow our circumstances to dictate our future? Like one incident, one occurrence, one occasion, and now our entire future is jacked up because maybe we misinterpreted. Maybe we perceived something that wasn't our actuality. Or maybe we got caught up in all of in the actions that we failed to realize that we are all human beings. You've had a bad day. I've had a bad day. Sometime I wasn't paying attention and I cut somebody off. I was in a rush and I drove way too close to them and was riding their tail. There's a lot of people who probably, and I don't really know because I probably was still oblivious to it, but I'm sure that I have messed up a lot of times. And people did not respond to me with disrespect and or hatred or violence. And I'm here today, okay, to just raise awareness of this issue that we should all be a lot more cognizant of how we treat one another. Because a discerning individual knows that things happen. People believe what they believe. And sometimes you can't impact that. You can't change that. But it shouldn't change you. Let's continue reading. All this because of one person's actions that you are second guessing to begin with. There is this young lady that is paralyzed now because she cut off one of her coworkers. It was a case that happened in Atlanta at the HelloFresh market. A young lady cut off one of her coworkers. She didn't even realize she did it. And that coworker followed her and shot her in the back. Shot through her car. The bullet hit her in her back, and she is paralyzed to this day. She may have just been trying to get home to her children. The daycare may have been about to close, and she wasn't going to make it. And she wasn't thinking. Maybe she was just rushing out of there. But his perception of her disrespect, she had the nerve to cut me off in a parking lot. And he followed that young lady and he shot her in the back. Think about that. Think about if she knew she did it and she was going to apologize to him the next day. I'm so sorry I cut you off. I was in a rush and I just got distracted. I'm so sorry. There was never even an opportunity for that. Let's continue reading. All of this because of one person's actions that you are second guessing to begin with. That makes no sense. The other and more appropriate choice in this type of situation would be to stay committed to upholding the golden rule. Uphold the golden rule. By sticking to the golden rule, you will exude confidence and will continue on a particular path that will also keep you in control of the outcome of your daily interactions, even when others do not uphold the same values, principles, ethics, morals, and beliefs. Some people simply don't even know. That is why you should share this video. Who else is talking about this? Who else is pleading, lamenting, reading this and giving you examples of how you can change your world and the world? Think about if you share this information and how this will impact that person. Maybe that person shares it with their son. Maybe another person shares it with their husband. That may save a relationship. That may keep that son out of prison because then he realized, look, that by sticking to the golden rule, he will exude confidence and will continue on a particular path that will also keep him in control of the outcome of his daily interactions. Even when others don't uphold the same values, principles, ethics, morals, and beliefs. Even better, you will limit the amount of distractions, particular particularly emotions that tend to take over the situation and lead you astray by prompting you to react emotionally to what you perceive as a negative encounter. Think about if that young man knew this. Think about if he knew this. And when that young lady cut him off, he didn't react emotionally. Oh, yeah, he's going to prison now. He's going to be locked up for a very long time. Thank God she didn't die, but she is paralyzed now. What kind of quality of life will she have? Will she ever be able to walk again? Will she be able to play with her children? Will she be able to run and play football with her son? Or will her children now have to take care of her? Will she be able to continue working? How is that going to impact her livelihood? Will she be able to take care of the children she has? What if she's a single mother? We have to think about how our actions impact the ripple effect of our actions and our decisions. And a discerning individual knows that at the very base level, at the foundation of it all, is human respect and dignity. And having human respect and dignity can change the course of your life and of everyone's life that you encounter. Clearly, the choice of sticking to your principles is one of discernment. And that is the side you want to be on during these situations. He lost his job. He lost his livelihood. What if he has children? Because he made an emotional decision, not a discerning decision, because he did not live by the golden rule that every human is deserving of dignity and respect, he shot her. His life is changed forever, and everyone who is attached to him, his mother, his girlfriend or wife, his children, the justice system, the tax system, the judicial system. Everything is impacted by our decisions. The point I am making is that the spiritual realm is always providing you with lessons, rules, and principles that you should use in your daily life, no matter who you are interacting with, where the interaction is happening, or the context of the interaction. It doesn't matter if a white policeman is pulling you over and you feel like is not justified. Conversely, it doesn't matter if you are a policeman and you are white and you are pulling over a black individual. One is deserving of respect and dignity. The person can be drunk out of their mind, intoxicated, high, mentally ill, old, young, foreign, woman, man. It doesn't matter. When you uphold this rule in every interaction you come in contact with, every person you encounter, your life is elevated, and so is theirs. Also, keep in mind that someone failing to open the door for you is a very small matter in the grand scheme of life encounters. So, I believe what she's saying here is to take this example, but think about it on many different levels. She used a very simple example here of opening the door scenario. But even that has had an impact. Think about how many Black women or women, period, have been assaulted, have been attacked because they didn't speak to someone, because they didn't speak to a man. I told you guys, this is a climate of violence against women and children. Even when I encounter someone who does not appear to be safe, I am very discerning in how I interact with that person. If I believe someone to be violent or has a propensity to violence or look like they can even go there, I am not going to agitate that person. I'm not going to disrespect that person because I want to go home at the end of the day in one piece. I'm going to be smart about my interactions with people. Let me continue reading. On the other hand, the broader issue of giving and receiving respect to human beings is a bigger lesson in discernment that, if you fail to grasp, may result in more hefty consequences for you and those around you. This is why your goal is to discern on a regular basis in every interaction. You should be using discernment on a regular basis in everything you do. But in order for you to handle the big and more complex lessons in discernment, like respect and human dignity, you need to be able to identify and handle the small discernment lessons first. Like someone not opening the door for you. That's a small lesson. Get that first. Get the waitress situation down. Because how are you making more discerning, higher level discerning decisions in your life when you don't even have the basics? We will discuss respect when dealing with people and interact with continuously in subsequent chapters. But first, let's understand your treatment of others in society and whether that treatment is conditioned upon subjective standards in some way. Okay? How are we treating people we don't know? Let's figure that out. Next page. And then we will end with this. The bottom line is this: looking at discernment in the spiritual context as separate and apart from discernment at work, discernment on vacation, discernment in familial relationships, and all other daily situations where the opportunity to discern arises, is a grave mistake that you must correct now so that you will be in a position to handle other, more crucial lessons in discernment when it matters most. Okay? Looking at discernment in a spiritual context as separate and apart from discernment in the day to day interactions with people, discernment at work, discernment on vacation, discernment in the gas station, discernment in the grocery store, discernment in familiar relationships, in all other situations where the opportunity to discern arises. And in today's world, the opportunity to discern arises every day, all day. She says here, it's a grave mistake that you must correct now so that you will be in a position to handle other more crucial lessons in discernment. Because guess what, y'all? We are spiritual beings. There are spiritual things that are taking place that you do not have the discernment to handle.
Discern is your personal guide to cultivating wisdom, clarity, and confidence in every decision you make. Designed to empower those seeking to live with purpose and intention, Discern offers a unique blend of lessons, tools, and community support to help you navigate life's complexities with grace and insight. Enjoy our many features, including interactive lessons. Dive into expertly crafted lessons that teach you how to sharpen your discernment skills in all areas of life: relationships, career, spirituality, and more. Daily reflections and meditations. Start your day with meditations and thought provoking reflections and prompts that inspire self awareness, critical thinking, and deeper understanding of your inner voice. Progress tracking. Keep track of your growth and see how far you've come with our intuitive progress tracking system. Personalized insights. Receive tailored content and advice based on your unique journey, helping you make informed decisions every step of the way. Community support. Connect with a like-minded community of individuals on the same path. Share your insights, ask questions, and support each other in your journey toward greater discernment. Expert advice and tools. Access exclusive insights from experts and thought leaders, practical exercises, and tools designed to help you enhance your discernment. Why choose Discern, the School of Discerners? Whether you're looking to break free from toxic patterns, strengthen your intuition, or make more aligned choices, Discern offers the knowledge, resources, and community support to elevate your decision making. It's more than just an app, it's your partner in the journey toward a more intentional, fulfilling life. Download Discern today and start transforming your decisions and your life with wisdom, clarity, and confidence.